Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to be creating the receive broadcast application so as to receive the broadcast. So in the first tutorial we have created an application which is going to send the intents, and in this application basically we are going to create a receive broadcast intents application which is basically going to catch the intents which are sent by the first application. So one thing which you'll need to remember is that in this case we are going to create a completely new project. So we exit out of the old project and start a new project, and let's name it as receive broadcast. And as you could see that actually the package name is going to be com.example.application.receive broadcast. So the package name for our first application would be com.example.application.sendBroadcast. So make sure that you remember this package name, and that is because we are going to use this package name inside our application. So once you have the application name, the next thing which we do is that we hit the next button and we select the API version 15. Now click next. And in this case, instead of choosing a blank activity, we will be adding no activity, and that is because this application, which is the receive broadcast, is basically going to just receive the broadcast messages and it is going to display it on the screen. So this receive broadcast application won't be having any user interface, so in this case we choose add no activity. Now once this is done, we hit finish. So as you could see, when we start our project, nothing is going to load up, and that is because we don't have any layout to this application. So what you need to do is that you switch to this project, and as you could see, we have our folder which is called as app. Now when we click on it, we have three folders here. So we go to the Java folder and we go to the first folder, and this folder right here is going to contain the activity, but in this case, as we have selected no activity, we have a blank folder. So now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to add a broadcast receiver to our application. So we simply right click on this folder and go to new and go to other, and in this other we select the broadcast receiver. So now once you select the broadcast receiver, you will be having these two check boxes, so make sure that you have checked them. Now next click finish, and as you could see, it has created a class for us which is called as my receiver. Now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to go into this on receive and we need to delete each and everything which is present into it. So we simply hit delete, and the next thing which we need to do is that as this on receive is going to receive the broadcast, we need to pop up the broadcast. So we use toast in order to pop up the broadcast. So we type toast, and I think they have named this as toast, that is because the toast pops up just like the broadcast. So we type toast dot make text, and inside it we need to pass in some parameters. So the first parameter is going to be the context, so we type context. Then we need to type in the message which we want to mention. So let's say we type broadcast received. Then the third parameter which we pass in is going to be toast dot length long, and this third parameter is basically the time duration for which we want to display the broadcast. So the length long is going to display it a bit longer as compared to the normal one, so make sure that you use the length long. Then finally we need to use the show method in order to show the broadcast, so we type dot show, and once this is done, we are pretty much done for creating the method in order to pass in the broadcast. So now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to go into this manifest and select Android manifest.xml, and as you could see, there is a receiver which is created for us. So we go inside the receiver and we need to create an intent filter. So basically an intent filter is a filter which is going to filter out the messages which are sent by a particular application. So basically in the intent filter we specify the package name or the application name from which we want to receive the broadcast. So we add an intent filter, so we type intent filter, and within this intent filter we add an action. So we type action. So inside this action we specify the name of the package which we want to receive the intents from. So we type Android name equals, and then we specify the package name. Now the name of our application was send broadcast. Now in this case we want to specify the package name, so one thing which you'll need to do is that you need to save the package name. So I have noted it down in the notepad. So my package name is com.example.application and finally dot and then the name of my application. So we simply copy the initial text and we paste it here, and then we specify the package name of our first application. So the package name for our first application was send broadcast, so we type send broadcast. And now once this is done, we are done with the receive broadcast application. So we simply save the code, and the next thing which we need to do is that we need to open up our previous project. So we reopen the send broadcast and we open it in a new window, and we need to make some changes over here, and that is because I have mistakenly typed another package name, because my previous device used to have this package name by default. So we simply change it. So we copy this, and in your case the package name might be different, so make sure that you check the package name before typing it in. Now once this is done, we save the code, and one important thing which you'll need to remember is that now we have two projects, the receive broadcast and the send broadcast. So basically the first thing which we need to do is that we first need to run the receive broadcast, and then we are going to run the send broadcast, and that is because the receive broadcast is going to get activated and it is going to keep listening to the broadcast until and unless a broadcast is received. Then we switch to the send broadcast and we send a broadcast, and the receive broadcast is going to pick up the broadcast sent by that, and then it is going to display it. So we simply run this application. So our receive broadcast application is up and running, and you could not see anything on the screen, and that is because we don't have any activity for the receive broadcast. Now the next thing which we do is that we switch to our send broadcast project right here, and we run this application. So as you could see, our application is up and running, and we could see the send broadcast application running on the emulator. So when we click the send broadcast button right here, it is going to display that broadcast is received. So this broadcast received message is being sent by the receive broadcast activity or the received broadcast application. So the receive broadcast application is in the standby mode in the background, and it is listening for the broadcast, and when we click this broadcast button right here, it is going to show the message which is broadcast received. So that's how you send broadcast messages from one application to other application. So I hope you understood how broadcast messages are sent from one application to other application. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.